One of the things that makes the Mazda MX-5 such a brilliant driver's car is its accessible level of performance. There's nothing excessive about it. There's just enough power. The ride isn't too aggressive or jarring. And it's a lovely car to drive, whether you're on the road or the track. But now Mazda has introduced a new variant to the MX-5 family, and it sits at the very top of the pack. And, says Mazda, it sharpens all of those very good attributes. I was worried, terrified actually, that Mazda had gone and ruined the MX-5 and taken away all those clever subtleties about it. But actually, I needn't have worried. In fact, I've never been so pleased to be so wrong. By sharpening just a couple of little things here and there, Mazda has proved that small changes can make a big difference. And if you find this car just a little bit too full on, then you've got all the rest of the family to choose from. It's called the GT RS, and it's got a number of extras that Mazda says make this car more at home on the track. It's got 4-piston brake calipers, forged alloy wheels, Bilstein dampers and a strut brace. But the question is, do all those things take away some of the elements we love most about the MX-5? Nope. Not a bit. Those few mechanical changes have made quite a notable difference when you get the MX-5 on a racetrack, especially if it's one like this, Broadford. Technically a motorbike circuit, but perfect for a little short wheelbase, nimble little sports car like the MX-5. It's still the playful, wonderful, nimble machine that that you get from all versions of the ND MX-5, but it's enhanced, sharpened. It's an absolute joy. With the modifications, the MX-5 is now even more similar to its mechanical twin, the Abarth 124 Spider, which is built on the same production line in Japan. And the thing I like so much about that car is it felt, in a word, more serious. And that's exactly what you want if you're going to hit the circuit. Now, before jumping in the RS, I was actually lucky enough to do a couple of laps in the non-RS version, and the difference is dramatic. I didn't think it would be that notable. I'm correcting the car a lot less mid-corner. It's so much more obedient, and that lovely sharp steering just feels all the more communicative. You can make this little thing step out anywhere and any time you like. Under braking, under acceleration, mid-corner, just giving it a bit more lock. It is so much fun. I had no idea it was going to be such a big difference. That manual gearbox, precise and rewarding, the steering, the driving position, all those things I love about the MX-5, they're all here in the RS, but it's just got that little added sharpness, which is so perfect on a racetrack like this. The newest MX-5 offering shines on a tight, twisty circuit like Broadford, but unless you live on your own private racetrack, you'll be wondering how the RS modifications translate to the road. If those track tuning enhancements have made the MX-5 less fun on the road, then all of that work is in vain. The other versions of the MX-5 are an absolute pleasure on roads like this because there's a little bit of roll in the chassis and it's a little bit compliant, and it makes it feel like a mechanical thing, not like I'm insulated from the car with too many electronics and an overdeveloped chassis. But of course this car has the up-rated Bilstein dampers, and on the road it is definitely a stiffer ride. But is it too stiff? Well, I honestly think people who have bought a sports car are willing to put up with a firm ride. That's what sports cars do. It's certainly nowhere near as compliant, and it's a lot flatter through corners. But you could certainly live with it. and those bigger, uprated 4-piston Brembo brakes. If you're only ever going to drive the MX-5 on public roads, they're probably a bit of overkill. The good news is there's still plenty to like about the MX-5, and of course so many of its good attributes and nature carries over from all its other brethren. The steering is unchanged, and I'm delighted because that's one of the best parts of its chassis. It's precise, not too much power assistance, tons of feedback, and I love its skinny little steering wheel as well. The RS enhancements certainly haven't spoilt the MX-5 package, but if you're going to go for it, you really do have to spend some time on the track to justify it. Its on-road presence and character certainly hasn't been spoiled, but it might not necessarily be such a wonderful exercise in subtlety that the other versions are. Of course, there are roads you can find that look a little bit like a racetrack, like this one, and when you do, you'd be very happy you splashed the extra cash for the RS. Before driving the new MX-5 GT RS, it was hard to imagine how the glorious recipe of rear-drive, lightweight Japanese sports car could have been improved. And in a way, the new flagship variant isn't an improvement. If the rest of the MX-5 range is like your favourite pair of Ugg boots, with a more focused chassis for special days at the track, think of the new GT RS as a sophisticated pair of runners that you slip on when you want to go somewhere faster and just for fun.